Hi Spice fans! Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Pod of the Pops, which is chronicling the solo careers of the Spice Girls leading up to the 2019 reunion. By this point, we are in the second phase of the girls' careers, looking at them post the 2007 reunion up to the present day. For those of you who are keen Pod of the Pops listeners, you will already know that we record all of our episodes in batch together up in Scotland at Karen's house. Unfortunately, one of our files got super corrupted, and despite all of Lauren's best attempts, we weren't able to save it. We could not resurrect this like Rita Ora resurrected the Phoenix album. This, unfortunately, it's gone. So we had to re-record the episode, and we used an online Skype type platform. Unfortunately, it wasn't super great, and what it's given is some time lag with us talking. So it may appear that I, Erin, am 3 seconds ahead of the girls. Like, I'm predicting their punchlines. Like, I'm getting the joke before it's even been said. So I have tried my best to edit this. And when I say tried my best, oh dear God, listener, I have spent so many hours. And I didn't maybe do it the smartest, best way. So I maybe wasted a lot of time. But I really don't like to pay people to do jobs that I can do, which is why all of my comedy artwork has been done by me. So, apologies if this episode isn't the high quality that you've come to expect from us. We apologise to you, we apologise to ourselves, and we apologise to Geri, as it is her episode. I hope you understand. Without further ado, I present to you this episode.
You're listening to
Pod of the Pops,
the podcast for reliving and reloving pop culture. Series 1, The Spice Girls, solo careers. Okay, so, the second half of Geri Halliwell's solo career it's really a long road of threats to release an album.
That's a dangerous game.
She hits more road bumps than Rita Ora in releasing an album.
And that is many. That is a lot.
But if Rita Ora can release that second album, and I checked the sales stats on it the other day, and it's gone gold. So not to be sniffed at. If Rita Ora can do that, then Geri,
that line again.
Geri could come back.
Not to be sniffed at. But yes, Geri can come back. You know, miracles can happen.
I mean, miracle is
Jesus
extreme.
can walk in water.
So let's see how this podcast goes with me in a completely different country to you guys. Now,
with a different King of England.
This is an international podcast now.
Yeah. So can we just set the scene for you? Me and Lauren are in like a room in my house that is small and echoey. We've got a first aid box on the wall. And we've got
a Dyson charging on the wall.
Yep. Which is a vacuum cleaner, for those who may not know.
If we're setting the scene, it should be known that Karen's house is not a house. It's an old nursery school that her and her boyfriend are converting into a house and have been converting into a house for 3 years, and it still looks like a nursery school.
It's an ongoing project. I need some cash money.
It's very much akin to Geri Halliwell's second album. It's an ongoing project that really needs a cash injection.
There's also a Belfast sink on the floor on its side, so we can't use it. Yeah. And we have our famous Spice Girl cutouts behind us. So
they're here for luck.
We're in the best room possible.
We start Geri Halliwell's second half of her solo career in true Geri style. In early 2008, she does an interview in The Guardian where she denounces herself as a feminist. The quote,
Geri.
So the quote is, "For me, feminism is bra-burning lesbianism. It's very unglamorous. We need to see a celebration of our femininity and softness."
Oh, man.
Does she even know what she's talking about?
Well,
so that's what's kind of distressing about this entire situation, isn't it? It's like for her to be such like a girl power icon, and then to just spout this kind of internalized misogyny, you're just like, yeah.
But it constantly comes back to what I've always said, though. She doesn't know what her greatest assets are. I used to picture her.
Well, it's her boobs, according to Millie.
It's like, I used to picture her as this great speaker, like she was politically engaging, and I used to think she was a prophet. But if you put 100 monkeys on 100 typewriters, eventually they'll write Machiko Latina. Have you never heard that saying? Well, this interview has a perfect example of Geri speak. She's talking about motherhood. I'm learning every day as a mother. I'm learning that she's like a flower that thrives when it gets sunlight, and the sunlight is confidence. And I feel that when I'm confident, it gives her self-esteem, and that gives me motivation to go on and be the best. And I, Spice.
It's just like, how about like talking about your actual daughter and not just how you're an amazing mother, you know? It's
And you know, let's be realistic here. Would Geri have made it as a solo artist before the Spice Girls? I'm not convinced. So some of her statements should be more
I think that is a very good question. I don't think she'd have made it as a solo singer, but she would have made. I think she would have.
Right, yeah.
She would have made it. She would have made it. Maybe not to the level
she would have done something,
but she would have been. Yeah. She would have been Kelly Brook big.
Yeah, because she was on page 3 by the age of 19. So you know that's a massive achievement.
Yeah,
true enough.
I think Victoria and Geri definitely would have made it without the Spice Girls.
Yeah, they were so driven.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, page 3 is topless models for our
international listeners. Yeah.
Listeners.
So there is another side to this interview that I think is a question we should talk about, which is the idea of letting women grow. So we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Effectively, we are constantly holding Halliwell and the other girls up to the same yardstick that we set them in their early 20s. I mean, if we compare that to politics, it's like saying MPs can't change their mind on things weekly, or when new evidence arises, or when situations change, that they shouldn't be able to change their minds. I mean, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Should we really be expecting Geri to still be feeling and thinking and saying the same messages that she said 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, true enough. She said that then, and I really, really disagree. But I would hope that actually maybe nowadays, in the year 2019, that she probably would maybe regret what she said then. She might have changed her mind. Who knows?
You've also got to look at Geri's sort of political side of her, because she was a supporter of Margaret Thatcher, and then in 2001 she went over to Labour and she did like she was in a political party broadcast,
that's right.
A very brief appearance. And then I think in the last couple of years she's come out and supported the Tories again. So she's either open to changing ideas or she doesn't know what she wants.
I think her point, which always got people annoyed, was that when she said about Thatcher being about girl power, was that she was like, oh, it doesn't matter about the politics, it's great that a woman was in power. Very surface, superficial kind of. I think it's, to be honest, the main word that springs to mind when I think about Geri's politics kind of is that she is naive. I've said it, she's naive.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So yeah, that was Politics Spice rearing its head again. Then just before this, so on the 12th of April 2007, it's announced that Geri Halliwell had signed a 6-book deal with Macmillan Children's Books.
This must have totally bypassed me. I don't remember this at all.
You don't?
Yeah.
Well,
no, I'm always reading children's books.
I mean, you do
spend local library.
A lot of time at the library. Well, Karen, this is where you'll be very proud of me, because I did go to Birmingham Library to check out.
No.
Yeah. You're gonna laugh so hard. I can't believe I didn't tell you this when I did it. I went onto their, because I'm always moaning that Birmingham Library doesn't have books. I knew that they had a good children's section, so I went on the website to see if they had any books that were the Geri Halliwell ones, and they did. And then I went in and I had a little look.
Wow.
Dedication.
But did you take any out?
Nah, I ain't got time for that. So I don't want the fines like you.
You're almost there.
So the books are called Eugenia Lavender, and they follow the adventures of 9-year-old Eugenia, a character based on Halliwell,
What a name.
alongside her friends Bronte, Rudy, and Trevor. Eugenia, Bronte, Rudy, Trevor.
That is a bizarre mix of names.
It's pretty upper class, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eugenia, Bronte, Rudy, Trevor.
I just don't get it. But it's actually pronounced Trevor.
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 Well, each of the titles featured a newsletter from Eugenia highlighting the lessons she had learned on her journey of the book. And there were quizzes and like riddles and crosswords. You know, she's
very, very intact.
Yeah, she's not done a little basic book here. You know, she's put a lot of work in. She described it as the rebirth of girl power. She was handing on the baton through a different medium.
Interesting.
I mean, if she handed on the baton then, it would explain the next 7 years. So she was like, I'm handed on the baton, I'm done.
And then it's like, wait, can I have the baton back? Oh, no, I'm gone. Oh, well.
Yes. I think the Spice Girls have handed on the baton so many times. Like, Viva Forever, we're handing on the baton. This reunion, we're handing on the baton. They're like the ones doing the relay and they're just never letting go. Never
letting go. No. They're running in circles, never letting go.
There were rumours at the time that Geri had based one of the characters, Princess Posh Victoria, on...
I mean, that
was not the name, was it?
Yeah. There were two characters, Princess Posh Victoria and another character called David Bockham.
There's got to be some copyright issues there.
I mean, come on.
It's not a cunning design. They are as obvious as her dance moves. So if you're going to put a finger over your eye for look at me, you might as well call a character Princess Posh Victoria. Well, she appeared in early drafts, but was removed. I'm going to guess because this is around the time of the reunion and they were all getting on and she probably respectfully thought, maybe this isn't nice or right.
Yeah.
I'm sure she had all the best interests at first.
So it's another naive Geri or ever-changing her mind Geri?
Yeah, naive Spice.
But, you know, it's good she can recognise
naive Spice.
Well, I've got a game for you, okay?
Okay.
So most of the characters were based on celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess which of these celebrities were not the inspiration for a character? So I'm going to give you 5.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 5.
Sure.
4 of them were characters. 1 of them was not.
Okay.
So, is it celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay? Is it celebrity BFF George Michael? Is it celebrity artist Vincent van Gogh? Is it celebrity manager Simon Fuller? Or is it Justin Suarez from TV series Ugly Betty?
So random at the end there.
So is it which wasn't it?
Yeah, 1 of them was not.
I don't think Gordon Ramsay, because all that swearing, surely a bad influence.
Well, the thing about it is that Geri was actually on one of these celebrity cooking shows of Gordon Ramsay.
Was she?
So maybe a little homage to him.
Yeah, she was. And it was actually hilarious. I watched a clip on YouTube where he gets mad at her and is starting to do his Gordon Ramsay shouting thing at her. And then she turns around and is like, I have your mother's number on my phone and I'm going to phone her up right now and say that you're being mean to me. And he's like, oh no, that is my mom's number. Well, how did you get that? It's quite
That's
funny.
So Geri.
It's so Geri. And they're having a bit of banter. I think she likes when he's being mean to her. Read into that one.
She does love women.
That's sexy.
Well, she does love women, men in power, doesn't she?
She does. And so actually I think they're maybe friends, you know. So actually he maybe is included in this.
Well, Victoria is very good friends with the Ramsays. The Beckhams and the Ramsays hang out all the time.
Lauren, who do you think it's not then?
Vincent van Gogh is very random. It's all modern day people and then you've got Vincent van Gogh. Or Gogh as we would say in Scotland.
Gogh.
Gogh.
I think we just say Vincent van Gogh.
Is it? I thought it was Gogh.
Yeah, I just
don't well, I suppose it's whether or not you pronounce it like
definitely don't say goth.
Goth?
Guys, I don't know. I'm not an art gallery gay.
Okay.
Not a musical theatre gay. I'm not an art gallery gay.
Okay, so I would vote for Vincent van Gogh, whatever you want to pronounce him, because I think that one's just so random.
Well, you are both wrong. Answer is Simon Fuller. I read some of the reviews while I was at the library. The Liverpool Echo called it readable and exciting. People online loved it.
Okay.
People online loved it. So the Amazon reviews were glowing. The Observer said it was good fun. Well, but I do question the quality of the prose written online, which is what the Observer questioned about Geri as well. They questioned the quality of the prose. The reviews online would back that up. I saw one that said, good book, actually. Actually was spelled ACTURLY.
Oh, no.
that was Victoria. That was the first book.
Written with an accent. Well, according to the official website, the book sold more than 250,000 copies in its first 5 months.
Well, guys, as you'd like to say,
Not
that's
to be sniffed
That's not to be sniffed at, which made Geri Halliwell 2008's most successful female celebrity children's author.
Was everyone else at the library researching that year?
That is a very niche award she's got.
Well, yes, but you know, there have been a lot of celebrity children's authors. Madonna has written for David Walliams has written for children.
Now you've got Greg James,
Dawn Flint.
you know, Chris Smith, Radio 1.
Yeah, not to be sniffed at.
Guys, stop saying that. It just has such different connotations.
Well, in 2009, she also makes a movie cameo in the Jason Statham action comedy Crank High Voltage.
Amazing. I mean, so random.
Has anyone
Well,
seen
it's a
this?
sequel.
No.
No, I have not. It's not.
I've seen the first, but not this one.
I would watch it for him.
Oh yeah, Jason
I
Statham.
really,
He's
yeah.
hot.
I went to see that, what was that shark movie last year?
Oh, Sharknado.
No. It was the one, The Meg.
Oh, the
Meg.
Meg. I saw that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't know Jason Statham was going to be in it, and he took his top off a lot. It was a real treat. 5 stars.
highlight.
I've got to say, Erin, your taste in films is, you know, it's varied.
SpiceWorld and S Club 7 the movie.
And Glitter.
Glitter was one time. So
Made in Manhattan.
I've watched that way too much. Maybe I only watch films that have got female divas in. So
that's right.
High Voltage is a sequel in which Chev Chelios must electrocute himself regularly to stay alive, whilst a group of assassins take out hits on his life.
Of course. I should
Sure. Assuming it's a real life story, this is a biography.
Yeah.
Geri appears in a flashback as the role of Jason Statham's mother. I'm assuming they used the scene from SpiceWorld where the girls play mothers as their inspiration for the character.
Oh, that's right.
Of course.
I forgot about that part. I wondered if she would have been insulted by being like, "Oh, come on, just cast you."
Well, it is a flashback, so it's not. He's not playing. Would you like to see the clip?
Fuck you, Chelios! Fuck you,
Chelios! Fucking fuck your balls, Chelios.
Yes, Chelios, fuck you. Off, Chelios.
Chelly! Fucking on!
Tell me what he's like when he's at home.
When he's home, he's like a ghost. He just plays those video games all day, all night.
Video games?
All day.
And you let him do that? Well, I mean, you did buy the games for him, yeah?
Of course. Why should I deny my son?
I have a lot of piss and vinegar.
He's hyperactive.
Oh, shite, Mum!
You want to watch your dirty little mouth, son?
We tried giving him Ritalin, but...
Chev?
I sold it.
With all this...
A cinematic treat, you guys.
The accent really troubles me.
Oscar-winning performance.
Well...
Which one? They're all terrible.
So true. But she's having a go. I can't believe she wasn't ribbed for this more at the time. I can't imagine the people going to see this movie are Ginger Spice for Life fans.
Yes.
I did not know this until I researched it. So how this didn't get, I don't know.
It slipped under the radar, didn't it?
Now,
I mean, the little boy's accent is hilarious. It's like an American kid doing an Oliver accent, and hers is not that much better.
I don't think any of these people have been to the East End for a while. I know this film is just a bit of fun, and everyone's having a laugh, but can we discuss for a moment the role Geri played in early feminism? And then the irony that in 2009 she would appear in a film, The Guardian accused of extreme misogyny and racism. And although nothing should be off limits in comedy, it amounts to flashy, arrogant emptiness.
Oof, yeah.
Now, I haven't seen the full film.
The truth is that for me, I'm like, this feels on brand for her, you know? I don't think she necessarily thinks these things through.
Naive Spice?
Naive Spice, yeah.
Her Spice? What do we call her?
I Spice.
I Spice.
I think be like ambassador for
Yeah.
Apple.
I think she probably did this as a favour to someone.
Oh, yeah,
Or-
she probably owed someone money somewhere. Someone must have held something over it.
And or like she just fancied doing something random like this.
I don't know.
Forward.
2009. I don't think she's that busy. She's written the books. The tour's over. She's not busy.
Yeah, on Wikipedia, it actually references her as having a few years of, you know, doing
Fallow.
nothing.
I know what she is doing. She's hunting down her
What?
husband, which she succeeds at.
Good for you, Geri.
Well, I know we said she has a few years fallow, but it really is 18 months at best. Because 2010 had the makings of a big year for Geri. She's put the wheels in motion. She's screaming to go faster.
If
We
you will,
start getting
yeah.
a lot of Geri is coming back to music.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this is 5.
Yeah. Do you think by this point she's got a big fan following, you know, in terms of her solo career? Obviously you've got the people that do support her and follow her, but how popular is she in the mainstream post-Spice Girls era?
Well, I think people would be like, oh, I'll listen to it maybe. Let's see what she's put out. You know, people are maybe willing to, if it passes their...
But I mean, she got that solid following that the Spice Girls
You
did,
have, I think
know?
you have there's a hardcore base for all of them. So there's a relatively strong hardcore base that will support any Spice Girls record.
No, not the one that we're going to talk about later.
Okay. But I mean like support, like they'll go out, like, so if you think of the Emma Bunton album came out this week, and I know like people are out there buying multiple copies, streaming on every platform, like they really are helping. I'd say it's more about, most people just don't know. The whole point of us doing this podcast is no one knows that they did all these things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So it's been 5 years at this point. It's 2010, 5 years since her last album, Passion.
How could we forget?
In the March of 2010, vocal coach Cary Grant, famous as one half of the husband-wife team that coached contestants on reality TV show Fame Academy. Do you remember?
Yes.
She had
The bright red flicky hair.
Yeah,
she still
she
has
did.
it. She's been interviewed on the Alan Titchmarsh show. All big names. The big hitters.
Yep.
And she says Geri is working on a return to music. In the April of that year, Geri posts a picture of her in the studio, citing none other than Lady Gaga as one of her influences for the new record.
Wow. Threat? What threat number is this?
This is really threat number 1. In the same month, Geri's episodes of Piers Morgan's Life Stories comes out as well. This is pretty juicy. She's the first Spice Girl to do a life story. We know she's not the last.
As recently
She looks amazing at this time. So this is 2010, as we said last week. This is when she's in that goddess phase. She's got the long, like, golden blonde hair, and she's wearing a lot of white.
Yeah.
She looks
looks
laminated.
great.
She's wearing this like feather peach dress that she just looks great.
Yeah, when you say laminated, you mean that?
Yeah, like as in like
nicest
she
way,
looks like shiny, like unreal, not just like white
Yes.
clean only Melanie. She's quite honest in this life stories. I mean, an hour and a half where she gets to talk about herself is very Geri's lane.
Yeah, and I'm sure
Should
Piers
love that.
does the massive digging that he's so good at doing.
Yeah.
Oh.
She does talk about leaving the Spice Girls. We don't get an apology, but she sort of she gives her reasons, which are, you know, well documented now, about how she felt they didn't need her and she felt swallowed and everything had sort of separated. But this is one of the first times she really openly documents it. We also, I think this is the first time on record, but she definitely talks about it in depth, about how she felt Robbie saved her life during her eating disorder.
Which is kind of incredible, actually. I mean, they were quite close, weren't they?
Yeah, and he struggled with issues himself.
To comfort, Robbie Williams from Take That, which were a huge band in the UK, bigger than the Spice Girls, maybe?
Did he crack America?
Not really.
Take That
He
weren't
lived there, though,
huge in America. I didn't realise this. I just was listening to some podcasts, I think they had a couple hits, but they weren't nothing like the level. Like when they split up, America were like, okay. But they had their own boy bands, I suppose.
I mean, the thing was that we had all the American boy bands here too.
It's gonna be me.
So for everyone who doesn't understand the appeal of Take That, they were basically the British Backstreet Boys,
that's
weren't they?
probably the best comparison. Yeah.
Not as good.
Oh, controversial Spice. So she is really honest in this documentary, and it's nice to see her self-reflective, but also I think she acknowledges some of her own fault rather than being quite so Spice. Piers Morgan does try and get him to rank the girls. So he's asking about which of the dolls sold best. I think is the angle that he gets her to do it through. So trying to sell
again, pitting women against women.
I mean, I'd like to say that surprised me, but it's Piers Morgan.
Well, you're right though, Karen, that every time a Spice Girl is on a show with a male presenter normally, they will always try and get them in some way to put the girls in order.
It's like you just have to rank them by
or
popularity.
Singing voice or attractiveness, or really the angle they're after is trying to get someone to the bottom.
Yeah, and then they can put out that tabloid headline the next day and stretch the truth.
They want to ignite some
Which is what they did. So the tabloid story was Geri Halliwell compares Victoria Beckham to Marmite. Because she said, some people love her, some people hate her, which is, I think Victoria would say that about herself.
Yeah. It's not actually that bad a thing to say.
I wonder what it's like when you're in show business though, whether you send a WhatsApp to your friends and say, just to let you know, this I didn't put it in this context, or whether you just ignore it all because you know that it's rubbish.
Oh, do you think there's a Spice Girls WhatsApp group?
I hope so.
I was going to say the same thing.
I reckon Geri's sending so many voice notes of herself singing them.
Oh my god, do you think it's like so we've got our part of the Pops group and then we've got the one with Laura in, so we've got this other friend who was going to do the podcast with her, but she couldn't make it, so we have one group where we talk about business stuff and then one where we talk with her. I reckon that's what it's like.
Maybe guys, we're more like the Spice Girls than we actually know.
I'd love that.
Or do you think Geri puts in like pictures of the outfits and then says sorry long combo?
Yeah. Definitely.
And I reckon that like Mel B will be like, whoops, sorry, slipped out enough.
Oh, I bet Mel B's always accidentally sending nudes. She's like, wrong group. Delete. Geri likes it.
And Emma says just motivational memes. In the way Karen does.
No, I reckon Geri's to Mel B. She's like, great boobs.
And Mel C's constantly got it on mute.
Yeah, basically, that's right.
So back to real life, as fun as that excursion was. So this is the same, 2010 is the same year we get Geri as a guest judge on the UK X Factor. So the main judges were Simon Cowell, Louis Welsh, Cheryl Cole, and Danny Minogue. But Danny had to miss the auditions due to being pregnant, which means we got lots of guest judges, including the infamous moment that Australian singer Natalie Imbruglia is a judge, and an angry group of contestants asked, "Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?"
I mean, the shockingness of doing that to Natalie Imbruglia.
But I have to say, right?
I love her.
No, I love her, and Lauren knows that I love her. But she hasn't been. She had the massive hit, which was a cover.
Yeah.
I'm shocked to find out, Torn. But she's not really been, music. She's been playing music and touring, but she's not really been, had massive chart success.
Not
after
in
that.
the last...
Not in a long while.
Not in a long while.
But,
It's, 15 years or
people
so.
say, oh, why is, Talisa allowed to be a judge? But I think she's got more than enough experience.
Recent experience.
But I guess the argument...
I mean, Natalie...
But are they
No.
charting?
But that's why she's relevant as an X Factor judge, because these artists aren't going to get to chart either. So Natalie can help them more on their journey.
Yeah.
So Geri is a guest in Glasgow, hometown. I was super excited to see Geri and Cheryl together, because Geri was responsible for putting Girls Aloud together in Popstars The Rivals.
Oh, God.
Geri
well,
Cheryl.
We're all connected in the great circle of life. I was so excited. I had my friend Sabrina over. We had wine. We were ready. She looked great. So this is the blonde bob is back. It looks very lustrous and healthy. Yeah. She's in a sort of simple white vest top. I'll check it in the lookbook. Yeah. She is largely mocked for talking.
Colour me surprised.
It's peak camera phone era. So there was a lot of grainy fan footage emerging of her getting booed. Once for saying no to a girl, but mostly for not quite being entirely relevant. Just talking until she gets
unlike her.
Thirsty Spice.
I feel like if I was on one of these shows, though, that's what I would do. As we all know, I like a ramble.
Spice.
Welcome back to the X Factor and the Glasgow auditions. While thousands of hopeful Scots are queuing up for that life-changing recording contract, there's one noise ringing in everyone's ears. Nope, not that one. This one.
From my experience, it's normal to be nervous. It really is.
Guest Judge Geri loves talking.
I used to be an aerobics instructor. You could have your own fitness tape.
Geri never stops talking, so she talks and talks. Some of it makes sense.
Would you like to pluck Simon's eyebrows?
Not all of it.
Just enjoy it.
Baby, oh, your secret's safe with me.
Geri, what do you think?
Julia, I really like your tone. I think you've got really good warmth in your voice. I went a bit wrong. No, I've gone wrong, a lot in life. I think the mentoring and growth, but I think you've got beautiful. Do you think you could rise to the challenge, just step up? I don't know if you've got your identity yet. I want to ask your ages.
I'm 18.
18. Okay, so when the Spice Girls started, Emma was 18. The most important thing, I think, is be original and never try to be anybody else.
So 2011 brings us Geri Halliwell, Fashion Spice. So she's obviously inspired by Victoria Beckham. So she starts a partnership with British retailer Next. So the beginning of the year, we get a swimwear collection, very imaginatively titled Geri by Next.
I mean, that must have taken
Bluebell did that one. So it's mix and match. You pick the bottoms and top to suit your style. So there's different sort of shapes and cuts, so you can find out what's flattering. Yeah. We sort of throw to you here, Lauren, because you're the tailor. So we'll let you be the critique.
They're okay, so quite a few of them are quite skimpy, small. I mean, there's a variety of patterns there. I guess they're trying to.
Yeah, she does do a lot more pattern than maybe Victoria would.
I mean, it's on Next. It's quite a populist brand. It's trying to.
Very mumsy. The Next.
Well,
I'll
tell you what isn't mumsy is the leopard print moment. So you get this weird. I don't even know if you'd call it a monokini. The tan line mark. Well, so let's describe it. So it's a halter neck top with a pant, and then from the left boob to the right hip, there is a strip of material.
Yes. Which it's got a kind of Barbarella, like the 60s movies that were about people living in caves.
Actually, the leopard print moments look like Geri watched Destiny's Child Survivor video and was like, Geri Halliwell by Tina Knowles.
Do you know, maybe that'll be the next line.
Actually, there's she's gone for, you can see in the various iterations, there is actually one-piece swimsuit. The one I'm looking at is like a floral number.
Oh,
with
okay.
a little kind of skirt
Right,
over
yeah.
the hips.
There is also a black body suit, and it has a gold G in the middle.
I see that subtle spice.
Eye spice.
Yeah, that one I'm not so sure about.
Not what do you call those dresses, hun? Where it's like a boob tube dress.
Oh,
yeah,
bandeaux.
A bandeau.
Yeah, they look pretty
cover
dull,
for
but
the beach.
Which
They look dull, but like actually quite maybe flattering for being on holiday. You know, just to pull over and you can sit at the bar next to the beach. It's actually quite practical in that.
And then there's a hat.
Ah, yes, the hat.
Everyone needs a big floppy
big
hat.
floppy
I personally am not able to buy one that suits my head. So she follows this up in the July with a 6-dress capsule of red carpet ready catwalk gowns. Well,
Now,
let me tell you
I
first, at
find-
this point,
yeah.
at the launch, she tells the Daily Mirror, she threatens an album is pretty much finished. It's never finished. But the album is coming. But this 6-dress capsule of red
always
carpet
coming.
ready catwalk gowns. Lauren?
I would not call them red carpet ready. I would call them Sandra's wedding
In
the local
1996.
In 96 down the local bowling club ready.
It's Saturday shiny.
Yeah, they are all floor length satin numbers.
Yeah. You know, it's not that long ago these came out, but I
Yeah.
still feel they look
I mean,
so dated.
there's a range of bust designs, and then they just all sort of hang, I guess. Oh, Lauren, you'd say drape, but
Yeah.
we
I
say
see
hang.
But, well, actually, in this case, hang.
the thing I can't get over is how short Geri is. So they've hired these models, and then Geri also walked the catwalk. And then they've taken a picture with Geri in the middle with all these 6-foot-tall catwalk models in heels. And then poor Geri's been put there as well. And she'd be short next to most girls, yeah.
As the Hobbit.
It would be nice if they'd kind of done, you know, like the Dove Beauty adverts
yeah,
with
that might
women
have
of
been
all
nice.
sizes and shapes and...
I feel like that would have been better.
Yeah, a bit more original. But do you know, I think the reason they didn't is because these dresses probably wouldn't suit women of all sizes. They were quite oddly designed.
Yeah. I mean, I can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to appease as wide audiences.
Well, I don't know. The other thing I'd say is, like, yeah, sure, have Geri design for different body shapes, but she's not a designer. Like, she's not going to know how to dress these women properly. I would question how much input she had in it anyway.
No.
But, I mean, judging by the quality, I think she stitched them herself.
I think it was like... But yeah, it was totally ghost designed, right? So...
But who are they aimed at as well? Because they said the starting price was £89. So I'm guessing these are like office Christmas parties? No, because this is July.
I think it's July. For prom crowd.
Graduation.
Or, school dances.
Yeah, but...
graduation.
But are these women and girls going to buy these? You know?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh.
Have you seen what some people wear?
Shady Spice.
I think that's what they were aiming for.
Obviously, they sold well enough for Geri to get a 3rd collection. So it's just before, this is in February 2012. Wow. So we're just gearing up for the Olympics. So this is the big Spice Girl year. So for her 3rd collection, everything is Union Jack motif. They've effectively gone,
oof, yeah.
What can we try Union Jack on?
That just doesn't sit well up in Scotland, unfortunately. There's a bit of
bigotry
and a bit of sectarianism around Union Jack. I would be very sceptical if they even...
Well, it's not all dresses. It's not all dresses.
This was 2012. It's true, there's some swimsuits.
Well, we get...
bikinis.
So let's describe it. We get homage to the Union Jack dress, which is a just above the knee number that is a slightly wider Jack design, but sequined. We get an asymmetric Union Jack vest top. We get a BNP Union Jack bikini. Bikini NP. That's what Nigel Farage is going to wear at his neck. Hustings. There is... so the one that I can't understand is there is a Union Jack... I'm not sure if it's a towel or a dress. I don't...
Yeah, and that's bad when you can't tell.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a beach towel or a dress.
Yeah, I mean, it's meant to be like a long evening dress, right?
Yeah, and again, we're looking at Geri with her models, and they're all, stunning figures. Yeah, it would have been nice to have a bit of diversity in terms of shape and sizes.
It looks like it's made
just
of
a
towel.
maxi dress, right? But it's not.
It is tacky, but I remember in 2012 looking everywhere for a half decent Union Jack vest to wear. So, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, its context is everything. Like, in 2012, suddenly it was okay to be a little patriotic, Dare I say, I was even, at one point waving a Union Jack when I was, watching the Olympians come on the bus through London. And I would have never foreseen myself doing that. I know. Well, it was, it was actually, there was something to be proud of.
At the launch of this Union Jack collection, Geri tells us the album is being mastered.
Da, da, da.
Threat number 320.
So 2012, big year. Geri has another stab at being an X Factor judge. So the previous season had seen a new lineup. So we'd had Kelly Rowland and Talisa Contostavlos taking the female chairs. Good judge choices, good year. Kelly returned to America. So her place was auditioned with a series of judges over the audition period to see who would make a good judge. So Geri is one of the judges. Also, we get Leona Lewis, Anastasia, Mel B, and Rita Ora. Mel B and Rita, both of which would go on to be judges, Mel B and Rita Ora. At the time, it was very heavily rumoured.
Yeah.
The judge job was Geri's to lose. The producers favoured her above everyone else as long as she had a good test. So all she had to do really was go in, do the job, get out. Oh, it was not bulletproof. No, she did not have a good test day. She looked great. So she's wearing, this is the blue lace dress. So it's like a full sleeved, just above the knee, a royal court blue maybe. Lauren, you'd be better at describing that. Thank you,
like a
Devil Wears Prada.
Cobalt blue.
Everyone was slating her at the time, saying that this was horrible. That dress is literally everywhere, still to this day. Every Tracy in the office has this dress.
It's true.
She came in, sat on top of her taxi. She's being so Geri. She's being very Ginger Spice. So she climbs out of the taxi through the window and sits on the top of it. Someone gives her a speakerphone. She's shouting at it to the crowd. It's, she's being fun. She's being Geri.
She's going for it. And, fair play to her.
Better to do that.
Well, rumours quickly surfaced again that the crowd were booing. Gary Barlow had taken over judge's duties from Simon Cowell, so he was also in Take That. And Geri made a risky joke. So after criticising a girl band's vocals, she said, "It's okay, not everyone in Take That can sing." That's rich coming from Geri. Because if she'd only said, "It's okay, not everyone in the Spice Girls can sing."
Yes.
Yeah. She went Take That. And I guess she thought, her and Gary would have a lot of banter because they would have been around at the same time. They've obviously known each other for the same time. And maybe the audience aren't letting her into that. Well, anyway, she gets a lot of boos. Tough Spice, though. She says, you get to an age where a really big fat boo is good for you. Late 2012, Geri appears at a breast cancer care show and debuts 2 new songs.
I mean, that's an interesting choice of venue to...
Well, but, she doesn't have a lot of time to debut these things, so she's got to do them somewhere. There is clips on YouTube. She looks great. There's a little pink fringe dress number that she's wearing. She's doing lots of so the dance moves are she's got these backup dancers, and it's very, the way they were dancing in Stop, where they've got the microphones on, I was going to say on sticks, but obviously I know that's not... mic stand. This is literally someone who uses a microphone on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's something
please don't
I would
take
say
my comedy gigs
no
away.
entertainment experience at all.
At this time, it's also reported she has signed a 7-album deal with Universal Music. I mean, how at this point?
No, she hasn't.
Yeah, I know. Who thought she'd be capable of 7 albums? I mean, that's bold. I mean, she's only released 3 so far.
That is optimistic.
5 as a Spice Girl.
Yeah.
appeared for that.
Well, there were rumours the album would be called Putting on the Bling, which was one of the unused demos we mentioned from the Passion Project, and that it would be a jazz-oriented album.
Oh, yes.
And the stuff that she's doing in the breast cancer care show would support that. The songs sound fine. I mean, they're probably not in early stages, but it's hard to tell, isn't it, from a video of a YouTube performance, because you don't know what the track's like or what the beat's like, and I mean, Geri needs good beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs the fun
She needs something to strut to, doesn't she?
Well, she definitely
She's gotta,
does in the breast cancer care
exercise
show.
her hands with the dance routine.
We find all of this out, of course, because she releases a tweet of her singing in the studio, wearing just her bra. Publicity spice?
Of course she does.
Headlines.
Oh, yeah.
All over again.
In the studio, recording with Absolute, who worked on the Schizophrenic Project and worked a lot with the Spice Girls. So she's getting the dream team back together.
Yeah.
Also, so what I feel like with this album is they were constantly waiting for a big publicity thing. So they were waiting for the X Factor. They were waiting for this, for that. It's revealed in April 2013. It's revealed she will be a judge on the 7th series of Australia's Got Talent. She's on with 2 Australians, DJ Kyle Sandilands and singer-dancer Tim-O-Matic. She's also reunited with her old pal, Dawn French.
Okay. Random.
Well, it's Australia's Got Talent. If you think about the people we've had on the British Got Talent, you know, people like David Walliams. It's comedian writers. She's a writer, comedian. She's worked in a variety of different formats. I think she's a good, I guess there's been some big hits. I would have thought French and Saunders was Australian, sorry. I bet Ab Fab went to Australia. Maybe they got Vicar of Dibley, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of expats.
There is a bit of controversy around this signing. Apparently, Mel B was originally meant to join the lineup. But because she'd already just been on Australia's X Factor, she had an injunction was sought by the TV network 7, which blocked her from appearing on any other network. So they announced her as a judge on Australia's Got Talent, but then it was taken away from her because of the network, so they gave it to Geri. Ouch. I don't know who I feel worse for, being second pickings.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna hurt. Well, kind of third pickings almost.
Well, she's undeterred. Same month, she reveals the album is coming. She's been working with Ed Sheeran collaborator Amy Watch, and they've written 3 songs together. You'd just hope it was the person writing the beats. This is my favourite Geri story of the whole episode, and I think a lot of people don't know about this. So in July 2013, Geri releases a video on YouTube and announces she is developing a sitcom called Life Sucks, which laughs gamely at herself and her dwindling fame.
Right. I mean,
sense of humour spice.
Sense of humour spice. I kind of think she could have been a bit more imaginative with the title, but then again, this is from the women who gave us David Beckham. Good point.
Well, it's being developed by Objective Productions, they're a very respectable company, especially in comedy. So they've sent me many a polite rejection letter. Maybe I should have written on this show. They've made some big shows. So especially in the UK, they've done Fresh Meat, Peep Show, Toast of London, Witless. So this isn't a reality TV company. Yeah, it's legit skills.
It's a pretty good list.
Let's play the clip.
Yeah.
I made a silent vow to myself that day that I would fuck all the Spice Girls. And here we are. There's Baby first. Then was it Scary? Was it Baby? Was it Scary? I can't remember. I think it was Baby and then Scary. Then what's the one with the Puma Sporty?
You've been with the other girl? I thought you liked me.
I do like you, but come on.
But I'm on your list. Do you know what? That's really shitty.
Don't take it the wrong way.
Imagine if you were on my list.
Well, I wish I was on your list, but you don't know who I am, do you? You know, I'd be complimented if I was on your list. I
can't believe it!
Out of 5, you're joint top. You're joint top out of 5.
I can't believe you! Can you hear yourself?
You were the best by look.
Oh, thank you very much.
Out of 10, I definitely give you 6.5.
Yeah, it's a sketch of her waking up in bed with a man. I think it's funny.
Yeah. She looks good.
Well, it's very grainy, isn't it? It's that sort of yellow sepia filming. It's very Peep Show-esque.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
She's not terrible.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. That's a compliment from me.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. I thought this was a good angle for her to go down. Although, I mean, it's not the most original thing. I've heard these sort of projects flying around with different...
Yeah.
There was one with Kavanaugh was meant to be doing a sitcom. And
yeah.
She doesn't leave sitcom there. She also makes an appearance in Trolleyed, the Christmas special.
Oh, Trolleyed is quite funny, isn't it?
I mean, it's hilarious.
I mean, this
She's
is...
taking the piss out of her eating disorder, which is just always hilarious.
Oh, slightly ethically questionable. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's if she can do it.
Her reaction to our fellow comic actor in that clip, I think she's quite funny. She's actually quite good.
Yeah, actually, you're right. The reaction and acting is reacting. So she read the manual.
Yeah. She did.
In September 2013, she signs with Sony Music Australia and reveals she will be releasing a new single, Half of Me.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I'll never erase this from my mind ever.
Well,
in my life.
Should we talk about the song? Or let's talk about the song.
Yeah, let's
do
it.
Let's play a little clip for those of you who may have forgotten.
Or never heard it before.
Just like an apple, cut down the middle. I only have one match in half. I gave you the finger, you took me to dinner, and you made me laugh. I took one look in your eyes, and knowing you know it, you fit me perfectly right. You're the other half of me. I thought love was bullshit, only for the foolish. But you're the other half of me. I never believed it, was too proud to need it. But you're the other half of me. You're the other half of me. You're the other half of me.
So we open with trumpets, real innovator Spice. I can't get over the lyrics.
Oh,
Please do recite them in a poetic form.
It's the finger.
Well, let me give it to you, as Jerry would say.
No.
Just like an apple cut down the middle, I only have one matching half. I did not know this was a famous phrase that, apples cut down the middle only have one matching half. I didn't know.
I don't think that is in.
Well, it's a big deal to Jerry.
I think that was one of her own invention.
I only have one matching half. I gave you the finger, you took me to dinner, and you made me laugh.
See, in Scotland, you'd probably take someone to dinner first and then give them the finger.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she means like a Victoria Beckham finger, like she pointed at them in a Victoria Beckham way.
But giving somebody the finger is really, that what she described there, it should all be in the other or wrong order.
But also, it could be like giving them the middle fingers and get it up.
But then
so
took her to dinner.
It just doesn't make, to me, lyrically, it doesn't make any sense.
It is a Geri Halliwell song. My favourite line, it comes a little bit later in the song. It's the feminist anthem of, wanna have your baby, gotta have you like crazy, then iron your shirt.
That would be that soft
feminine,
feminism.
She wrote it at the same time as that interview.
Back to the kitchen, back to the iron.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god. Also, does anyone with like a baby iron? Because my friends that have children, that's the last thing they actually do.
Yeah. Exactly. So if you have their baby, Geri, you ain't doing the
Well,
ironing.
No, you
so-
got your priorities
She has got
wrong,
all
love.
those things, so
Yeah.
let's see. The video is, oh god, the video is so odd. So it's filmed on green screen and it features lots of odd couples with all the people have got different differences, and the only thing that they've got in common is they've all learnt the terrible dance routine to this terrible song. There's lots of people that seem to be getting naked and eyeing each other up, particularly Geri.
Yeah.
And she's making facial expressions like she didn't realise she'd accidentally stumbled on this dogging part.
Yeah, like, and it was like, Geri, you invited everyone to this orgy. Why are you surprised?
I know.
She's being very LGBT Spice, so there's lots of gays holding hands and old men with little boys. It's questionable, but you know, she's you know doing what she didn't do with the next line, which is saying, you know, everything for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's maybe adapting space.
Yeah, it's weird that only the guys get sexy in this film. It's like they filmed bits with the women as well, and they were like, oh, this is a little bit Me Too before Me Too. So they're like, oh, just chuck the guys in. Let's just abuse them.
Yeah.
Which, you know, fun for a minute. We are fully in the region of literal dance moves. They're back.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
She's
so
doing
much.
sign language full on. It's literally Makaton. She's pointing you. She's giving half. It's literal sign language.
I think, right, like, this is just a tangential thing here, but I feel like Geri really wants to have, like, some kind of Macarena dance craze surrounding her. That's what she wants, right?
Yeah, she wants to be the next
So
craze.
right.
I'm sorry, Geri. That was you in the 90s.
Oh my god. So this is when it came out, right? Because this is just 3 months earlier, she announced she was doing a sitcom and it was very fly on the wall. I assumed this was part of that project. That it was fly on the wall and she was in on the joke.
Yeah, like tongue in cheek almost.
Yeah, and that would have been quite clever, actually.
Because it was only being released in Australia at that time. Like, it wasn't a global release. So I was like, oh, this is part of the joke.
Yes.
Yeah. It was not, sadly. She does do some live performances. Like, she gives it some welly. So she performs on the NRL footy show, which
which is a big deal over there,
I
I'm
would
guessing.
read it. It is the longest running show on Australian TV, and it's a sports variety show covering professional rugby league.
I kind of feel like at this point, Geri's almost a bit like an embarrassing mum. You know, she's trying to appeal to a wide variety of people, but actually she's not really getting it at all.
She's like that meme where she's like, how do you do, fellow kids? You know, like...
Also, like, who told her that Geri fans watch the NRL footy show? Like, I wouldn't have thought that crossover has a lot of crossover.
No, there's not. No.
So, other half of me sold 393 copies in its first week.
I bet that was one fan.
Do you know what? Yeah, it definitely wasn't 393 people.
You know, she wrote a blog post after this happened.
Really?
Yeah, and it was saying, I don't really know who I am, in a polite way.
Oh.
It was just like, I have, you know, lots of things going on in my life and I'm not sure which direction I'll be heading.
Oh.
So she definitely felt a bit hurt.
Yeah,
by this,
it would
I
hurt.
think. And, you know, maybe there is that realisation that, you know, in the 90s, you know, you're part of one of the biggest selling girl bands of all time. And then to go from that to very, very little success at this stage in her career, you know, it must have been quite hurtful.
To have tasted that ultra success, to go from that to, you know, barely anything.
And then to know that you're not really relevant anymore. To, you know, that, it must be painful.
Yeah, it must be. And this is, you know, I just want to say is that obviously sometimes we can be critical, we are honest about how we feel about a lot of their solo stuff, but when it comes down to it, with all of the Spice Girls, man, they are workers. They are still plugging away. They're still trying their hands at all of these different things. And major respect to them, even if...
Also, make no mistake,
you know,
I may slate the hell out of Geri, and I may drag her, and I may say a lot of the stuff is rubbish, but I'm still there on the front line. Like, I'm still I'm still listening. I'm still posting about it. I'm still making sure every other bitch knows. So
exactly, 100%.
I'm there.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still.
We throw shade, but we still respect her.
Well, exactly. It's you could be honest about people you love.
Yeah,
and that's what we're doing.
You wouldn't believe how many comedy clubs I played at, and I'm like talking about Geri Halliwell's solo career, and just this face of middle-aged men looking back at me like, "Nah, man, we don't know what this is." So this is where I do feel sad for Geri, but then she doesn't help herself. So she was set to perform on Australia's Got Talent, the final, but she cancelled.
Which is quite a big
she was going to
gig.
sing The Other Half of Me, her solo single, but after it sort of staggered badly in the charts, she cancelled that, and instead we got the monstrosity that is this wannabe performance. I'm going to play it for you. I want our listeners to know I do not support this message.
You might recognise this song. We've grown up with it. This is for us. If you want my future, forget my past. If you want to get from me, better make it fast. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Get your act together, we could be just fine. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta be my best friend. Make it last forever, friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy, that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
So it's just from the off, just up there. She looks beautiful. She's wearing a lovely dress, but she looks so vulnerable.
Yeah.
She looks like a little lost lamb heading for the slaughter.
I am super uncomfortable
you
watching
don't.
this, I have to say.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Yeah, you don't feel safe in her hands as a performer, which couldn't be more of a contrast to the Spice Girls days. Like, you felt like these bitches.
And that song could have been cut in half, really. You know, spare her the...
Oh, please don't sing the whole thing. Just sing your parts.
Get Victoria on to sing the rest because she never does shot the first time round.
Yeah.
And it's also like the brand messaging is so mixed. So she says at the start, like, we've grown up with this. This is for us. And then she changes all the lyrics to I.
Yeah.
She's like, I Spice, if you want to be my lover, you've got to be my best friend. Like, no!
It was.
Like, it's like she doesn't realise sometimes the message that she had and how important that still is to people. And I know that's my nostalgia kicking through and I should let go and let people grow, but have some dang respect.
I know. Well, that line she changed. The whole point was that you've got to get with my friends, as in you've got to respect the other women in my life. You've got to also not just see me as somebody you're having sex with. You've got to see me as a person and interact in my life. It actually had a lot of meaning, that lyric. And it's not one you hear in pop a lot. So, Geri, it's so important. Why did you change it?
I know, it's so bad. And that last note, oh God, someone hand her a Strepsil. You should never be hearing Geri doing something solo acoustic. Like, it's just not her strength. Like, she has so many strengths that's
and she's
not
so
one
good
of
at
them.
hand dancing, you know.
And that does not lend it.
No hand dancing involved.
No jazz hands, although maybe you'll get them with our jazzy songs coming.
Jazzy album, yeah.
Wow. If you want to be her lover, you've got to be her best friend. And that's what she does get. So in May 2014, she marries Formula One team boss Christian Horner.
Mm-hmm.
To celebrate this union, I'd like to borrow a line from Mrs. Merton and say, Geri Halliwell, what is it that first attracted you to the multi-millionaire?
That's a classic.
She's got her own money, I think.
Well, yeah, she has, but not as much as him. Apparently, so I don't know that much about the stories of how they met, and I probably should have looked a little bit deeper into that. So if you've got juice, please share. But apparently, like, when she first started going to Formula One events, like she was a bit of a joke. She was a bit of a laughing stock. She didn't really know anything about it, and she was sort of seen as a bit of a joke by the other I don't know what you call them. Are they players? I don't know.
Is it drivers? Yeah.
And
drivers, whatever. I don't know.
All the other people who are involved in the industry.
Right? Is it a sport? I don't know. Anyway, but she just kept showing up. Like, she just kept turning up. Like, she was completely undeterred, which is so Geri. And she just started sort of forcing her way in, and she learned about it, and she became really skilled. And eventually, they just had to respect her because she wouldn't go away. And like, she just learned everything, which is such a good lesson in life, especially in this industry. Me and Lauren will attest to. What's that story you always told me? Like, oh, it's not the best people that get through; it's the people that just stay.
Yes, it's the ones who just hang around and keep plugging away in the background. They're the ones who eventually have the staying power.
I swear, Lauren told me that story 10 years ago, and it still hasn't happened.
No.
Not
Get a break.
Well, we did what we said we'd do, right?
We hit the new and noteworthy, yeah.
Yep, cling on.
Talking about the wedding, Emma wore black to the wedding in true Spice Girl style.
Hi, guys.
Tell me she had a hat.
If you want to... Oh my God, I haven't got the picture, actually. Let me get it up.
The cowboy hat. Do you remember the trilby?
Oh.
No, she wore that to Victoria.
But that's what I'm saying. She should have had that again.
I mean, like, I don't get this. Like, has nobody told them that you don't wear white or black to a wedding? Wear colour. Wear any other colour.
Wear rice pudding. Well, I think, no. So she hasn't got a hat, but she has got a black fascinator that's got a little bit of a veil on it.
Ooh, dramatic.
Which, like, you would wear to a funeral.
Yeah.
But I suppose Ginger Spice is dead, so she's gone to that. Oh my God. So Emma is not wearing a hat, but her husband, her partner at the time, Jade Jones, is wearing a black trilby.
Oh, we've seen these pictures.
Beautiful, yeah.
Different. But do you know what? I actually think, wear what the hell you want.
Yeah.
Why?
I think they've got...
Black? No, just wear what you want.
Yeah, I think they've got an understanding that they want them wearing black and white, especially because they end up in like the Hello magazine pictures a lot and things like that. So I guess they want some coordination.
You don't want the issue with Geri again with the 2007 with the completely different outfit to everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say they do love wearing black at a reunion, because they were obviously meant to there in 2007 and they did in the 2019 video.
Yeah.
Geri looks stunning in this. So she's gone full Regal Spice. So her dress is very similar to the Kate Middleton design. It's a lace sleeves, over like a white, what would have been sleeveless dress if it wasn't for the lace cover over.
Which is very classy.
And a very long veil. Yeah, exactly. Like this isn't a Ginger Spice dress. This is a Geri Horner dress.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. This is full conversion to Lady of the Manor.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's a big skirt. She loves a big skirt. The thing that we should say is Emma is the only Spice Girl at the wedding.
That is a bit sad.
Well, Mel B's daughter was meant to be a flower girl, but pulled out at the last minute.
Oh, was she ill?
I couldn't find a reason.
Well, that's
why.
polite, Lauren, to say that. I presume there was another drama. Perhaps, maybe not.
Looking at the dates, it's 2014. Respectfully, it could be stuff going on with Mel B and her marriage at this time.
Yeah.
That maybe, and she's based in LA and the wedding was in the UK, so it could be that there was difficulties there.
Yeah.
Victoria was at Singapore Fashion Week.
Right.
So she sent a huge bunch of flowers and a designer dress for the honeymoon.
Oh, beautiful.
So although she couldn't be there, she's very well mannered, Victoria.
She is.
She knows how to send an apology.
And you know, it must be quite easy as well when you've got assistants around as well, because you can literally just say, unlike us who are spinning plates all the time, you can literally just say to someone, "Oh, go and choose a dress for, Geri."
I like to think Victoria would have chose the dress. I like to think Victoria chose the dress. On her way, Mel C was Busy, I guess. I don't know where she was.
I'm kind of surprised she wouldn't have gone though.
Yeah, because I feel like her and Emma are bosom buddies, right? They always hang around and do things together. I feel like Emma would have been like, come on, Mel, come with me. Oh, well.
I don't know. So in the same month, there is an Instagram post from a guitarist saying he is recording something acoustic for Geri on a Johnny Cash guitar.
I mean, wow, Johnny Cash is spinning in his grave, but...
Who has ever heard the line, Geri working on something acoustic, and thought, that's a great idea?
Yeah.
No one hears her vocals and sees dollar signs.
No, I mean, with Mel C, you'd be like, definitely. Even you know, but Geri...
She should be strictly...
the other's success, you know.
I don't know. She should be banger uplifting ballad.
Exactly.
Banger remix.
Yes.
Does she think...
Banger ballad uplifting remix.
She's got a good voice, so that's what kind of worries me. She pulls it off as a Spice Girl, but does she think she's got a good voice on her own?
I don't know whether she thinks she has. I think she has a lot of self-doubt, but I think she really wants to.
Yes.
And I think that's the one thing she's never been able to do, which is she's proven herself as a pop star.
Yeah.
She's proven herself as a solo artist. She's proven herself in a lot of other arenas as a writer. She's never been able to prove herself as a vocalist. And I think that's the one thing she would love to be able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, keep plugging away, Geri.
Oh, God, she's going to try and do it on this tour.
Can't wait.
So in 2014, it is reported that she's in talks with the Department of Education
of course she is.
To set up a free school that would specialise in arts and business. So, as we know, Geri was the only Spice Girl that didn't go to stage school because her family couldn't afford it. Because she couldn't afford it. And that's why she is, by her own admission, the weakest singer-dancer.
Yeah.
Despite the efforts that she makes. So this story is very, very early stages. I think she hadn't actually filled out the application form, but she'd picked out a nice notebook and a sparkly pen to do it with.
Bless her. Yeah.
But she was allegedly she was invited to Downing Street to discuss. So Karen, as a teacher, what are your views on Geri running a school?
You know, I've had time to think about this since we had to re-record the episode.
Oh, re-record.
I do actually think, you know, maybe because she is actually so determined that it might put her in good stead, but I think she needs a lot of support and a lot of people that know what they're doing behind her to make it work.
Yeah.
But you know, she's a critically acclaimed writer, some might say.
Some might say.
2008 best-selling female children's celebrity author.
Exactly.
Well, I think, you know, Geri's quite good at surrounding herself with talented people, right? So if she's the one bringing the kind of celeb name and the money to such a project, stranger things have happened.
And I liked that it would specialise in art and business. Like, I think that's a really smart niche because, you know, like all these schools focus on arts and auditions and stuff. But so much of it is about business now. And I think that's terrible that we expect our artists to be great marketeers and great business people and make good decisions and know about contacts and know about finances and stuff. But if she's going to put that in place, then like I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very respectable move from her. I mean, I feel like that's...
I mean, it doesn't happen. But...
I know, but the idea, that's the Geri we saw at the UN, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is UN Geri, yeah. This is the politics Geri.
Yeah.
Well, after this, Elliot Kennedy, so writer on many of the Spice and SpiceWorld songs, such as I Say You'll Be There, starts tweeting, recording a children's choir for new Geri single.
Wow.
So she's needing the backup of children now?
The children's choir, oh God. New album is wonderful. Can't wait for you to hear it. Released soon.
Major threats detected.
God, it's so long. This is so long in the work. She says, recording the last 2 songs, feeling pretty good. I mean, by this point, it's already been mastered and completed, but we're still recording new songs. So she's not afraid to, you know, revamp a project.
Yeah.
All this time, it's still acoustic and guitar driven. There is not a crop top or synthesizer in sight. Always a worry.
Yeah, I'm like, stick to what's good for you.
So from 2015 onwards, Geri starts her assault into TV work.
Her assault.
Well, she tries very, very hard to be a TV personality. So we get Geri Halliwell presenter Spice. So for the next few years, she does a lot of things. She hosts The One Show. She's a contestant on Celebrity Bake Off. She presents This Morning with Rylan Clark Neal, who Rylan Clark stole my life. I swear to God. I struggle to be happy for him because he's got the life that I want and deserve. But well done him. He's really dragged himself up there. So we can only snaps for him.
Said through gritted teeth.
Said through gritted teeth, but I really want to be happy for him. I don't want to hear bad things about him. He's very popular and he has worked for it.
Yeah.
She stands in for Zoe Ball on her breakfast show. She's presenter Spice.
She's all over the place.
So all the time while she's doing these presenting bits, she's still threatening new music. So in the October 2016, she releases an Instagram of her jamming with Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones.
Wow. I mean, she's got the celeb contacts, doesn't she?
Hasn't she just?
Yeah.
And this album should be good.
It's quite impressive.
Well, in November 2016, a 12-track album leaks online called Man. It's called Man on the Mountain.
What a title!
Well,
I wonder where that inspiration came from.
Well, it's I tentatively call it a country album. So it is very guitar-y, very acoustic-y. Obviously, we don't know if this is how Geri wanted it to sound because, you know, it's leaked, so it might not be the full release. I did listen at the time. I'll be honest and say I didn't go back to it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. I don't know if this is the album Geri wanted. She did at the time say she was really disappointed that it had been leaked because you work so hard on something for so long and you have a plan in place and then it's just thrown out there by someone with no respect. And I totally get that.
That is rubbish.
Awful,
that is
isn't it?
Really disrespectful, yeah.
Yeah. It's not great. She's really trying. She really tried at this time. You know, she begged Ollie Murs to do a duet and he said no.
Oh.
Like if you can't even get Ollie Murs,
Harsh.
right? But there is good news in 2016, right, Karen?
Well, actually, I think it's early 2017.
Oh, well, go for it.
I'm just having a look. So, yeah, Geri posts on Instagram saying...
Montague?
Yeah, I'm getting Lauren to read this because I'm like,
You're so bad with names.
Oh, right.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know anyone with this name.
Montague George Hector Horner
That's
arrived
a bit of a
this
mouthful.
morning. A beautiful little brother for Bluebell and Olivia.
Oh my God, did you say...
She's a stepmom. So.
Did you say middle name was Hector? As in...
George Hector.
As in Hex Hector, the remixer of Melanie C's I Turn to You. Grammy winning.
And also George. Is that George after George
100%.
Michael?
Yeah, so she names him after him, which, you know, is quite nice.
Because he died the previous Christmas. Did he die before? I think she's pregnant at the time.
Was she pregnant?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she was literally about to prop. She was like 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, and he died on Christmas Day 2016.
Yeah. That's a nice touch, actually, George.
Yeah.
I bet she considered calling him George, but it would have been too painful.
Yes. The Montague one is an interesting choice because, of course, the Montagues are it's the Montagues and Capulets in Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, well spotted. Yeah. Oh, that's very Geri.
Shakespeare
Spice.
Because she's like, I'm a writer.
I am 2008 best-selling female celebrity children's author.
And I'm going to name my child after one of the warring families in Romeo and Juliet.
To be fair, Monty does sound like a character from Eugenia Lavender.
Oh, yes.
He does, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, in 2017, as well as Mother Spice, we get Geri Halliwell, full presenter Spice. So she gets her own one-off BBC documentary. It gets a very Mariah Carey-esque title. It's called Geri's 90s, My Drive to Freedom with Geri Halliwell.
Such a long
Very
title.
me, I am Mariah, the elusive chanteuse.
Was this the one with Denise Van Outen?
No, it's just Geri. And it's her telling us about the 90s through the metaphor of her buying a car she'd always wanted. The Guardian give it a hilarious review. Let me read you some.
Please share.
Sure, it sounds fine on paper. Get Geri Horner to tell her stories with the advantage of hindsight, and bonk-eyed nostalgics across the land will go loopy from nostalgia. Kangol hats will be dug out. Someone will put on a dodgy album. Tim Lovejoy might get an erection. However, in reality, this show wants to be two different things. One is a whistle-stop biography of Ginger Spice, the other a dead-wide cultural perspective. The main problem is Geri herself.
Oh, God.
As she happily attests, all Geri ever wanted to be famous. Didn't matter how. If she couldn't be a singer, she'd be a TV presenter. If she couldn't present, she'd do game shows. Talent never seemed to come into the equation. She just wanted fame for fame's sake, something to fill the aching void in her life. But this monomaniacal self-absorption meant that she didn't actually pay much attention to anything else going on around her at the time, which isn't a great quality if you're going to present a documentary about just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've hit it on the head there.
Movements were exploding all around her, but she was either too busy flipping cards on Turkish TV or railing against perceived slights by Gabby Roslin to notice. She did buy a nice car, though, with the Spice Girls' money, and we see a clip of her driving it and going, woo, so that's something.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, bless
The
her.
show is less a personal look at an important decade and more a highlights reel. There's the bit with Union Jacks, and the bit about art. There's football, Kate Moss, Tony Blair, but then Princess Diana dies, so that's sad. But Nelson Mandela, and Finlay Quaye, and George Michael, which is brilliant, but then he dies too, so that's also sad. On the whole, it says nothing you couldn't learn from 45 seconds of absent-minding Wikipediaing. And in the middle of it, it's Geri Horner, ignoring everything but her, saying nothing but trying hard. How very Geri.
Wow.
So Geri, trying her hand at so many different things.
Yeah.
So that review is one of my personal highlights of the biography, documentary, or whatever we're calling it. And that was written by, I'm going to name check because it was so well written, Stuart Heritage, at Stu Heritage.
Good job, Stuart.
Good job, Stu. We salute Stu. For you. It was terrible.
Oh.
We'll cut that. 2017, so she is working, and we have had the very sad passing of George Michael at the beginning of the year at Christmas. Geri releases her first international single in the June since Desire in 2005, so it's been 12 years. It's called Angels in Chains, and it's a tribute to her BFF, George Michael. And it's done really tactfully, actually. She used some of his
It's very sweet of her. She wanted to do something for him, didn't she? She wanted to show how much she loved him, and I can respect that.
Well, she wrote it. She wrote it herself. She said it's quite a sad story, really. Like she said, as we just said, she was 9 months pregnant when he passed, and he had been like a huge influence in her life. Like she'd always run to him when things were difficult. Like when she left the Spice Girls, she stayed with him in France. I mean, I saw an interview clip with him the other day, and he's talking about her, and he was like, well, yeah, she sort of rang and said, can I come stay with you for a bit? And I said, well, come to our villa in France. You can stay as long as you like. And it took her 5 months to leave, which I just thought was hilarious. That she'd really misinterpreted as, stay as long as you like. And he'd just been like, yeah, well, you're very welcome here. So,
I mean, it's no Elton John Candle in the Wind tribute, but she's definitely done the best for her. You know?
Yeah.
It comes from the heart.
Oh, definitely. It's very well thought. And so there is a documentary that goes with it, which is nice. It's like only a little 10-minute making of, but it's really nice. You can see her really trying. She's used some of his session singers in the process. So this is very supported by people who knew George very well, had worked with him very well, and, you know, loved him as much as she did. As respectful.
Which is a nice touch.
All the proceeds went to Childline, which is the same charity George donated his Jesus to a Child sales to. So, you know, this is all, I don't think this is publicity spice. This is very her trying to honestly do the best she can.
Yeah.
Respect to her for this, for sure.
It's a classic little black and white video. I don't want to talk about chart placings because they're not very good. And the sales are not very good because she's doing such a respectful thing. And I think her voice sounds better here than it's done in a long time. Like, I think she's tried really hard on it. I'm not going to say any more about that. I'm going to let the song speak for itself. And then I have a funny George Michael Geri story to share with you.
Every young gun has their fun. The brightest star burns half as long. Who knows why the good die young? I wonder where you've gone. Could have been born tomorrow. Could have walked through the sorrow. But you left us singing, heal the pain. Where all angels in chains. Looking back, the aftermath still burning from the flame. We say goodbye, it's time to heal the pain. George, your faith will never end. I gotta have faith. Father figure, brother, friend. Understand me. Little boy dying to belong. I wonder where you've gone. The world can be cold and cruel. A gentleman but not a fool. Laughter singing, heal the pain. Where all angels in chains. Looking back, the aftermath still burning from the flame. We say goodbye to a star tonight. It's time to heal. Something you came to teach us.
So apparently, so this is Geri Halliwell, George Michael. He was her poster boy, like on her wall. She had a poster of Geri Halliwell. And in like all her old notebooks, she'd written she was going to marry George Michael. And it was her.
She didn't have a poster of herself.
No, yeah. She's just signing like Geri Michael. She's like, I really do believe I'm going to marry him. And then when she's in the Spice Girls, she meets him at an awards ceremony. And at this point, she doesn't know he's gay. So I'm not sure when he comes out. I thought it was like an open industry secret, but it must be around when he's outed, really, isn't it, with the toilet instrument. But she meets him at the award show, and this is her telling this story on this making of the song. And she's with the other Spice Girls, and she says, you know, I'm looking around me and I'm like, I need to get George to myself. How am I going to get rid of these other 4 girls? And finds like a way to shake them off. And I couldn't help but be like, Geri Halliwell, miss, if you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my friends. Shaking off your besties to get with a guy. Whatever happened to hoes before bros? Gays before lays? Geri Halliwell.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know.
She goes after what she wants.
Does.
I'll give her that.
Determination.
And then she finds out that he's gay and she thinks, oh, well, if I can't marry him, I'm going to have him as a best friend.
That's what I did with you.
Oh. What? I'm not gay.
Oh, we should be together.
I'm busy. That's why we've got to record this podcast from separate countries.
You've actually got a restraining order against me.
Well, in November 2017, she finally appears to admit defeat on a solo career. She tells Red Magazine that it's just too demanding. She says, am I prepared to do gigs? I performed at 1:30am one night, got in at 4:30am, and Bluebell woke me up at 8:30 wanting her mum. I'm not sure that lifestyle is conducive to where I am right now.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough, because she's met her multimillionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I think music is for her rather than for money, isn't it? I think she needs that validation. And she's right, like performing at 1:30am. I mean, that's definitely GAY, by the way. That's 100%.
Yeah.
And that's
100%.
It's tough work, you know? And especially if you're getting little reward, like 353 singles sold in Australia, like that's not worth the effort, mate. We get more weekly listens in Australia. Humble brag. So 2018, she's full presenter Spice. This is the last thing that we get before the reunion. Geri is announced as a judge on a brand new primetime BBC talent show called All Together Now.
I don't get this show.
Well, let me explain it. So it's hosted by Rob Beckett, and Geri is a celebrity judge. And it's very heavily sold on, oh, it's Rob Beckett and Geri Halliwell, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she was first booking, and then they were like, oh, there's something missing from this panel. You've got Rob, you've got Geri, we need something more. So they rope in 99 other people.
So many people.
Well, that's how many people it takes to make a full celebrity judging lineup with Geri Halliwell. 99.
When you've got 100 monkeys.
Oh my God! It's so true! 100 monkeys on 100 typewriters. Eventually, they will give good feedback.
And eventually they'll pick a decent singer. You hope.
So it is a fun show. So all the other 99 people they're not nobodies, they're all connected in some way to the music industry. So they might be casting agents or singers. Some of them are former like X Factor contestants. There's a drag queen, she's really fun. So it's a real zeitgeist. All of these people effectively could have been in the video for Geri's Half of Me. That was the casting call. I do know a few people that are on the panel actually, and they say she's very fun and very good to work with. She's very polite. She's very humble space.
And I believe that.
Yeah. But you can't help but think she needs 99 people to fill the space.
Oh, yeah, there is something about that. It's the elephant in the room. It's like, she not enough in her
Well, the
own.
show's been very successful. It's been pretty consistent in the ratings, around the 4 million mark.
Fair play.
It's on its second series. They had a celeb special with Gemma Collins on it. It's hilarious.
Oh, I did see the clips
It's so
of this,
hilarious.
yeah.
Did she manage to stay
She
up
got
there?
she got through the first round. It was unexpected to even her because she was not prepared for the second song. She didn't even know all the words.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But this show has given us one viral moment in a musical theatre gay goes up and sings in front of Geri Halliwell on a primetime Saturday night show his version of the Spice Girls minus Geri's Christmas #1 single, Goodbye.
So awkward in so many ways.
This is such a questionable choice
Let's-
on his part.
let's
Like,
play the
what
clip.
did he-
Now listen, little child, there will come a day when you will be able to say, never mind the pain or the aggravation. You know there's a better way for you and me to be.
Geri, you'll like this one.
Look for the rainbow in every storm. Fly like an angel.
Really nasal.
To me. Goodbye, my friend. It's not the end. So glad we made it. Time will never change it. No, 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 no. Oh, so glad we made it. Time will never, never, ever change it. No, 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 no. You know it's time to say goodbye.
Geri's not got up.
That was quite ouchy. Ben, do you know what the history behind that song is?
I thought it was the message that they had to you when you left the band.
Yeah, that's right. So when I left the band, it was really sad, and it completely brought me back to that moment, bringing all those feelings back. You know, it wasn't bad what you did. It was quite a ballsy choice.
I think that song, it meant a lot to Geri, but it meant a lot to everyone else who was around in that era at that time. There's more tears there. It was a risk, but...
Well, you just come in and made everyone sad, Ben.
I mean, wow. I think everybody just collectively cringed so hard. I did quite like the fact that she's like, you know what this is about. She's a little patronising because she was obviously a little bit kind of taken aback.
Well, he's a little young. Maybe he wasn't.
Yeah. And she was like, do you know what this is about? And then she's like trying to.
He does fight
make
back
him
though, because he
understand
does.
it.
Yeah, he does say, well, you know,
Yeah.
this song has a lot more connections to other people. It's not just about you, Geri. I suppose.
It means a lot. It means a lot to other people. Yeah. So I mean, she's kind of like, yeah, you can try to make him understand that it makes her feel uncomfortable. You know.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good song to sing. Like, it's not like it's a song that's got so much range, or it really showcases your vocal talents or anything like that.
Yeah, you need a song that in a short period of time you can showcase yourself, and this is a slow song.
And then she gets quite emotional as well.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that she would, because when we watched the 2012 Viva Forever documentary last week, the clip that we dropped into the episode, like she's crying in that clip. They all are. Like it's an emotional time. Like it's always going to bring back those memories. And I just don't know who made that decision. I'm assuming maybe it wasn't him, and he was encouraged by the producers, or I don't know.
Possibly the producers were like, yeah, that's a great idea when it was suggested, because they were like, oh, they knew it would be a viral moment.
Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about it right now means they succeeded, perhaps.
True. Well, that's that. So that is Geri Halliwell's solo career to date. Who knows?
She is loving an Instagram right now.
Oh.
She is.
Yep. She's doing a Britney on Instagram.
Yeah, she is dancing.
Please, can we not mention Britney at the moment, seeing as no one has heard from her on Instagram in a while.
I know.
And
we're thinking of you, Brit, if you're listening.
We are.
But yeah, Geri is really trying. You know, she's looking good. Her dancing is, you know, she's on fire, I'd say, as far as Geri Halliwell is
She's throwing her energy behind this tour, you know.
Yeah. And I think we've got a couple of sneak previews of what the songs might be.
Yeah.
That they perform on tour. So I've sort of come up across Never Give Up on the Good Times.
Ribbit.
Yeah. And If You Can't Dance.
I mean,
so it'll be interesting to see if they are actually included.
The audience.
Or if she's just dancing to them for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't think I said it on the podcast, right? But I think I said it on Twitter. We were talking about what would be a great opener for the show that they haven't done before.
Yeah.
I suggested Never Give Up on the Good Times. Okay, so picture the scene. We're there. Jess Glynn has buggered off.
Oh,
we're all drunk by this
Wine
point.
glass in hand. The lights have gone down. The VT starts, and it shows clips from the early days. Like it flashes all these clips of the videos. The lights start rising. There's like disco lights going on. Everything's rising. It's like 5, showing 5, showing each of the girls 4, showing each of the girls 3, showing each of the girls 2, showing each of the girls 1. Silence. Blackout from the distance. The Mel C vocal. Oh yeah, yeah. Come on and do it. Acoustic.
Yeah.
Then bang, the song comes in, lights go up, all 4 of them come out, all the dancers, it's all wild, and then they do the whole song.
Yeah, I mean that sounds banging.
I actually like that idea about having like If You Can't Dance as a start.
So that doesn't have an acoustic for Mel C.
It can though.
She
I
could,
mean,
you know Mel
remaster
C,
these.
she'll literally solo over anything, man.
Yeah. And have you seen that all the some of the Spice Girl music videos have been remastered?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
So the quality looks great.
Yeah, you can actually make out what they're wearing.
Or not.
Says the costume designer.
Or not wearing, yeah.
Mel B's nipples are still out.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so what Spice would Geri be now? We've had Literary Spice, we've had Presenter Spice, Talent Judge Spice, Fashion Spice, Cooking Spice, Wife Spice, Mummy Spice. What do you think we'd go with?
Never Give Up Spice.
Oh, I was going to say Home Spice, just because she's found her partner, or her husband, or she's got her children, and she's found music isn't necessarily for her. And
so in a way, towards the end, she has kind of given up.
She's found
in the last.
with the TV.
But that's only in the last year. She spent the rest of the last 10 years of this. I mean, Home Spice. She was in Australia for half of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But she has, since she's been married, I think she has sort of That's where I'm getting the home spice from.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about you, Aidan?
Well, I've got written down, I'll do it, Spice. Because sometimes
I love it.
Yeah.
But then I quite liked, at the beginning, when we were like naive Spice.
Yeah.
No.
But that's not a good summing up. That
Well-
was potentially, yeah.
Well, wait, because I had another idea with it. I thought about it while we were doing this. Why don't you have naive with a capital I? So you have I Spice and naive Spice.
Nah,
I mean, as funny as that is, I think I'll do it. Spice really speaks to this era of Geri's life for me.
Yeah.
Especially because it could be, come on, I'll do it, Spice.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she's got the I in there as well. I Spice, for sure.
I do it, Spice. I do it, Spice.
I do it, Spice.
Yeah.
I do everything. I do all the things, Spice.
Okay. Well, thank you for bearing with us, listeners, on this podcast recorded across the nation. We will be back with you next week for another solo episode. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends and rate us on Apple iTunes and subscribe and just do all that jazz. Support us in the way you didn't support Geri's other half.
Yep. And Erin, it's nations.
What did I say?
There's a plural there. You said nation, just referring to England again. 4 nations.
Why
Anyway,
did I not realise you got... Okay, my bad.
Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for all the support so far.
Yeah, it's awesome. And make sure you share our podcast, baby.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Song.
Better than chocolate, you're right in the pocket. You were tailor-made for me. Wanna have you, baby, gotta have you like crazy. Then I am your shirt.
An Instagram post from a guitarist says he is recording something acoustic for Geri on a Johnny Cash guitar.
Wow.
Johnny Cash, I just said. Sorry.
I took one look in your eyes. You know and you know it. You fit me perfectly right. You're the other half of me. I thought love was bullshit, only for the foolish. But you're the other half of me. I never believed it, was too proud to need it. But you're the other half of me. You're the other half of me.
Really been
Right.
working on
So
my life.
you had big news, Karen. What was that?
Oh, so, yeah, Costco, if you're listening, yesterday I got a membership for £17.
What? Hang on. What? You paid £17 for your membership?
Well, I split it with a friend. She got a card as well. But
Oh
it
my
meant
God,
we
I'm
got
so
2 free
jealous.
chickens.
I know.
2 free chickens, 48 AA batteries, and a carrot cake, and a £10 voucher to spend in store.
Oh, I'm so... Can we go next time I'm up?
Oh,
Yes.
100%. I went
Oh
and
my
got
God.
15 Bundaberg ginger beers for £8.
Costco is like it's like the big supermarket for businesses, isn't it? So everything's at like cost price.
Yeah.
And obviously now we're in the podcasting business.
Really?
So I'll be claiming it on my taxes.
Oh my God.